Hi, everybody. It is Saturday, January 31st. I'm getting ready to head down to the Peacock Theater for our last full day of rehearsal for the Grammy premiere show, which will be tomorrow. If you want to watch it, I found out if you go to live.grammy.com, it starts promptly at 12:30 Pacific time tomorrow. You can watch it. It might be on YouTube Live also, but I think the most solid one would be the live.grammy.com. It's a great show. I mean, we have close to 90 pieces of music. They're giving close to 90 awards during the day. In the evening show that's televised, I think on CBS, it's like maybe 8 or 10 awards and some production numbers and some canned music also. We play more music and live music than any other show on television on this show. If you added everything else up on TV, it's still not as much as this show. The band's incredible. I love doing this show so much. So I just wanted to give you a heads up there. Also, let's do a clubhouse this coming Wednesday of next week. It's been a little while now. It'd be great to catch up with everybody. So I'm going to do a quick piece of music and a story for you today. This revolves around a James Taylor album and song that we did. And I will tell you the story after I play the song. I'll let the song kind of set the mood, and then I'll tell you this story. Some people know it, but others haven't heard it, and it was a really great moment in my life. So here we go. This is James Taylor's That's Why I'm Here.
Person to person and man to man, I'm back in touch with my long lost friend. Listen to reason and understand, and think of me from way back when. He said me and Melissa, well, we fell out of love, ran out of luck, seems like lightning struck. I've been thinking of leaving, but I can't raise a buck. James, I'm wondering, could I borrow your truck? I said, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Got no better reason. That's why I'm standing before you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. John's gone found dead, he dies high as brown bread. Later said to have drowned in his bed. After the laughter, the wave of dread, it hits us like a ton of lead. It seems learn not to burn means to turn on a dime and walk on if you're walking, even if it's an uphill climb. Try to remember that working's no crime. Just don't let them take and waste your time. That's why I'm here. There'll be no more message tonight. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Oh, that's why I'm here. This is an IOU. I reckon I owe you one now. Listen, Wendy, and listen, Glory. This'll be better tomorrow. Oh, fortune and fame, such a curious game. Perfect strangers who call you by name and pay good money to hear fire and rain again and again and again. Oh, summer like summer, coming back every year. Got your baby, got your blanket, got your bucket of beer. I break into a grin from ear to ear, and suddenly it's perfectly clear. That's why I'm here. Singing tonight, tomorrow, and every day. That's why I'm standing. That's why I'm here. Oh, that's why I'm here. This is the part about Kitty and Bill. He loved her and she loved him. Wake 'em up, shake 'em up in the middle of the night. Got to tell me everything's alright. I said, that's why I'm here. That's why
So my story that goes with this song and this album, That's Why I'm Here, goes back to when Diane Sawyer first interviewed Michael J. Fox, and he then came out and said that he was dealing with Parkinson's disease. And Diane said, "Is there anything that helps get you through your days, through all of this?" And he said, James Taylor's song, That's Why I'm Here. And I was sitting here watching, wow. Because Michael and his wife, when we would play the Universal Amphitheater, I remember they came to many of our shows. And they were big fans of James. But so he said, oh, That's Why I'm Here. And at that point, I thought to myself, my God, I went in the den. I've got some stuff hanging on the walls there. And a gold album for That's Why I'm Here was hanging on the wall. So I then contacted Clint Black's mother-in-law, who was his manager. I contacted Johnny and I said, do you know how to get a hold of Michael J. Fox? And she said, well, I know his manager. And I said, so she gave me the information and I called his manager and I said, I have something I'd like to give Michael. Can I bring it to you? And she said, oh, that would be great. That would be great. Because what I wanted to do was, for me, it was just a thing hanging on the wall. I wanted to give him my gold record for That's Why I'm Here after he said that. And so I went down to Wilshire Boulevard to where the office was. And I had wrapped it up, wrote him a letter and everything. And I got to the office and I said, I'd like to see, Michael's manager. And they said, oh, she's not here today. You can just leave it at the desk. Oh, great. So this is probably going to end up in a dumpster. But I left it with the person at the desk and I went home. And about 4 months went by and I never heard a word about this. And I went, I'll bet they just probably get so much crap, they just threw it out in the dumpster. And then one day I come home and my message light is blinking. And so I pick up the message and it goes, hi, if this is Lee Sklar, this is Michael J. Fox, a real idiot. He went through this whole thing and he said, I can't believe you sent me that. And I wrote you a letter and I just found the letter. It still was in my desk. I forgot to mail it. And recently I saw an interview with him done in his office and there was the album sitting there in his office it was on the wall or on a shelf leaning in it. It was one of those things where you just kind of go, for me, I've got lots of gold and platinum albums here, whatever. It's kind of whatever it is. But when he said that, it meant I thought this would be a good one to pass along. And when I sent it to him, and I was so glad that he actually got it and still has it there. And he said, no, it means the world to me. I love it. Thank you so much. So it was really cool. So that's my story of That's Why I'm Here, James Taylor. Before I run off to work, I also want to acknowledge my sadness at the passing of the great Katherine O'Hara. She's such a great actress, such a great character. I got to spend a little time with her and managed to get her. She's in my book. She flipped me off. She was so cool, such a funny, interesting woman. And I just could not believe when I was at work yesterday and during one of the breaks, I just opened up my phone and it said, she had passed away at 71. I just went, oh my God. Just every day it seems we're losing more of these really incredible people. And it just breaks my heart. So many are gone now. So, well, next Wednesday, Clubhouse. I'm going to get going now. We got a really long day ahead of us of all the rehearsal, and then we'll get in first thing in the morning tomorrow and do touch-up rehearsals before the show starts at 12:30. But live.grammy.com. If you can, watch the show. It's really amazing how much music we end up doing this. And the band is so great, and it's 100% live. There's no canned music on this show. We are cranking through probably close to 90 pieces of music on this show. And it's intense, and it makes you feel, like you're sitting at the grown-up table rather than the children's table when you do shows like this. So have a fabulous weekend, and I will talk to you later. I'm going to work. Talk to you. Bye.